Asked the Air Force.
Campbell started at TV3 as a 27-year-old reporter in 1991. A year later, he joined the political team. After a stint on 2020, he began presenting TV3's 6 p.m. news with Carol Hirschfeld.
Tonight on 3 News.
In March 2005, he finally flew solo.
Tonight, how you can buy a
Heading Campbell Live, he's raised millions of dollars for those in need and become a voice for those who don't have one.
Can I ask you a question, Minister? I'll tell you what, I will ask you a question. I will ask you a question. You answer it.
Now John Campbell, JC, is losing his voice on TV3, but leaving a bloody marvellous legacy. Amanda Gillies, 3 News.
I think Mike might have to read this.
The Crown has wrapped up its case in the trial of the man accused of raping and murdering Auckland woman Blessy Coutinko.
Tomorrow, before the jury retires to consider its verdict.
Susie, thank you. Former Team New Zealand skipper Dean Barker will be on the start line at the next America's Cup in Bermuda. After being dumped by Team New Zealand 3 months ago, Barker has been snapped up by Team Japan. With more on this, Michelle Pickles joins us now, and Barker's not just the skipper of the new syndicate.
He's not, Mike. He's going to be CEO, which means he's going to lead this team on and off the water. He'll have that story on 3 Sport later in the programme.
Fantastic. Thank you, Michelle. Well, in the news ahead, Islamic State fighters take an ancient Syrian city. There are real fears that means the end of its 4,000-year-old ruins. A row over resource consent for a backyard cabin sees neighbours at war. While an historic hut that sheltered trampers for a century is on the move from Aoraki Mount Cook National Park. One of the most important ancient cities in the world is now at the mercy of Islamic State forces bent on its destruction.
Will almost certainly now spread to this forsaken city's ancient treasures.
One man's campaign against religious instruction in New Zealand primary schools went back to court today. Supporters from the Secular Education Network were there to greet Jeff McClintock, who's arguing it's a breach of the Human Rights Act just to have Christian religion taught in schools. Today's hearing considered whether the Church's Education Commission could join the case. The judge reserved her decision. A former West Auckland school principal found with 77,000 images of child sex abuse has been jailed for 16 months. David Latimer resigned from Rangeview Intermediate after pictures showing children between 2 and 13 were discovered on his school computer. He pleaded guilty to possessing objectionable material, which included scenes of rape, torture and bestiality. An angry neighbourhood spat ended with the removal of a building by crane on Auckland's North Shore today. It was a cabin built in a backyard without consent, but the man who built it says it should have been allowed to stay. Adrian Taylor reports.